Good evening. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Good evening, everybody. Whoops. We are here. We are here with you live. And I think we've got it all figured out. I'm hoping I just figured something out. And we will see. I've been watching and reviewing spaceship videos earlier tonight. The commander's been looking at some really incredible video footage that we're going to be sharing on YouTube and on here. I looked at it about an hour ago, and I can't wait. One of the videos I'm going to be posting on here is between San Diego and the Mexican border, 25 nautical miles out into the Pacific Ocean, some incredible footage of UAPs. And another one that I have to review, another really incredible footage was, I think it was some airline stewardesses or pilots that videotaped nighttime, some UAPs as well. So there's two things of footage that I'm reviewing, and I should have them posted by the morning. So I'm really excited about that. You know, for a few days, I didn't see anything really interesting, but there is some stuff happening. Usually every few days, I get some incredible stuff sent to me. And so, yeah, things are definitely happening all over the place. So very important. There was one piece of footage from September, 2 months ago, from Mexico, but it was recorded, but on a small screen, and you couldn't really see it. So that goes on the no posting deal with me on Astro Spaceship News. But hey, Chesno, good to see you here. Hopefully everybody is hearing me good. I think what happened was I had my Bluetooth on, and I think that was causing the echoing last night. I had a Bluetooth on for my car onto here, and I didn't turn the Bluetooth off. So I think that was my problem, and I'm hoping that there's no audio problems here. Hey, Whale and Song, everybody coming in. And it is Friday night. It is absolutely Friday night here. And we're glad to see Marne. Good to see you. Yes, they are. We just had a few encounters on Yashua's Live a little bit ago. A lot of activity. Thank you for the roses. Thank you very much. And we're going to get into a lot of stuff because it is definitely increasing. A lot of these sightings and what we look forward to into next year, 2024. You know, if we think 2023 has been pretty active, wait till we get to the end of the year after New Year's into 2024. 2024 is going to be an incredible year for sightings all over the world. And I keep getting really tuned into the cosmic realm of that, and I just can't wait to see it happen. Hey, Chesno, thank you for TGIF. We appreciate that, brother. Hey, friends and fairies, hope everything's good. I know it's probably really cold up there in Vermont, up in northern Vermont. I know I used to live in Washington County, so it's got to be a little bit cold up there. And let's see here. Whalen Song, have you heard if we are holding the war government running to barriers in Cheyenne, Wyoming? I've not heard anything about anything like that. Can you expand on that? Because I've not heard anything about Wyoming. And thank you for the earth, Chesno. Whalen Song, thank you for the roses. Marinette, good to have you with us, our West Coast person. Another one of our moderators. These are great people. Chesno, Marinette, they keep things going here. Steve, good to see you. And I have a feeling tonight's going to be good when I interview guests. There's not going to be any kind of echoing. I think it was my Bluetooth that was on the whole time. Good evening, Kush. Good to see you up there in Canada. Hope everything's well. Hope everything's well for everybody out there. I am so happy it's Friday. I'm sure you are too. Thank you so much for the gifting, the hand heart. We appreciate it. You know. Monologue. Oh, monologue. I can't know. I'm not speaking Italian there. Good vibes from your indigenous brother. Good to see you, brother. Shaman Storm, good to have you with us. We're doing well. Thank you for coming on last night. You know, the energy feels really good, you know. The energy shifted after we get through Halloween. It's really shifted. It's like a different energy. We're still going through a transference of energy, but it feels really good. I got the apple cider going. Had some good Mexican food tonight for dinner. It was really good. And yeah, you can't beat it. We have some good Mexican restaurants around here. So we had some of that, and then we're home here, going live. Smart Taps, good to have you with us. You know, everyone, I had lasagna. Well, it's on good. I like lasagna. Chicken Parmesan. You know, if you get some good chicken Parmesan, I'm all for it, you know. Serendipity, good to have you in Serendipity. I think you're in Florida. Sandra, I hear subways. No, that's a train. We have a railroad station about a few blocks from here, so you're hearing the train. Hey, Laura, welcome to the show. I need to drink grapefruit juice or soda every night myself. Can't miss a night of my grapefruit. Rebel, welcome to the show, Rebel. Tammy Lou, good to have you with us. There are new people finding our show. This is Encounters. Johnny Miller, hey, brother, good to have you with us. This is the #1 late-night spiritual UFO talk show. Neto, good to Squam. And Neto, welcome to the show. Commander, good to see you. Molly, good to see you as well. I hope you're doing good out there. And it's really cold in New England tonight, so it's kind of cold, and it's good to be in a warm place. You know? Hello, Commander. Hey, Super Mario. Good to talk to you there. You know? I'm just saying hello to all the people coming in here. It's early yet. We haven't even started. And we're going to amp things up. I am certain we will. And we want to get to like 50,000 likes tonight. I think we can do it. You know, I think we can make it up there. And because it's so spontaneous, we never know who's going to be in here. But I know I have to invite people because it's too bad. I keep wondering why TikTok doesn't have just one button where you can invite everybody in here that you wish to invite. You know, you have to do 15 at a time, and that takes forever. You know what I mean? So we're going to do a little bit at a time, starting with the A's. We'll keep inviting some people. Everybody invites some people. We're just getting into it here. You know, so we're going to invite people here. I'm doing my first 15 in the letter A. All right. I'm just going to tell them we're live. We are live. Now that we're going to do this, that's my first 15. And we'll see what happens. So I just did 15. I'm going to have a competition here with people to invite 15 people in your Cosmic Friends list to come on the show. I'm going to do another 15 right now, because that's what we do. And they're all going to be invited on here. It takes time because we're just getting started here in the show. We want to make sure we don't leave anybody out, you know. We don't want to do that. I've seen seven UFOs with my girlfriend. Wow. I think that's pretty amazing, Papa Caps. When did you see 3 UFOs with your girlfriend? I'm interested to hear your story. I know you only have a low amount of numbers yet, but we'll get you up there. Tell us about the story while we're in here. Flour and chili with fire. Nice and chilly with fire going in the fireplace. Flower power. Good to do that. Definitely if it's chilly out. Dreaming Annie, welcome to the show. I'm going to invite some more people. And I need to do that because then they will not know that we're here. Right? We have to invite them. I might skip some people by accident, but that's not the intention. So we are inviting them. I have a couple hundred people here. We just did another 15. And you're coming into Encounters, the late night UFO spiritual talk show. Yes, it is early for me. I'm usually on various times after 11. I know sometimes people can fall asleep, with the vibrations of the sounds of my voice. So now we're going into some other things here. We're inviting some more people. I'm down to the B area now. That's pretty good. I'm on to the B's. We invite all our brothers and sisters here because that's what we do. We're still at 56. We're going 55, 56. I normally we should get everyone in here so we can have a couple hundred people on our show sharing experiences. And we want to amp it up, folks. And, a lot of times when it's cold outside, and this is the weird part of it, sometimes some of these sightings up here in New England, when it's really cold, they show up. You can be out in the woods somewhere, you're looking up and there it is, but they're in a spaceship and you're like freezing in New England looking up at a spaceship or a UFO or a UAP, and they're right there, right? So it's always a dilemma sometimes. We've been out with our Ashtar Command C5 group in cold weather about several years ago, maybe less. It was November. There was no snow on the ground, but it was cold, and we got together. It wasn't totally cold, but we ended up doing our meditation. We had 13, maybe so people together. And when we opened our eyes, we saw 15 spaceships or UFOs or UAPs or whatever you want to call them. They appeared out of nowhere, and then they disappeared 15 minutes later. I'm curious if sightings happen more during cold or warm weather. I've always wondered that myself, Johnny. I'm not really sure if that happens. If you ask and thank them in advance, they'll reveal themselves. Papa, very true. They will. They'll reveal themselves, and you can see them. See, this is the thing. We are all very telepathic. Seriously, we are. Our telepathy would allow us to make contact conscious to conscious with space people. It's nonstop, Chesno says. It's true. I'm sure I came on for maybe a minute or two. I have been messaging her. I know she's really busy overseas, so she might have popped in for a minute to see what we're all doing. But we will have her on. I messaged her today, and I'm hoping we can schedule to get her on here because I know she's got a lot to talk about. That's because I'm telepathic and I know that. Do you think they just fly around with nothing to do like on a Sunday? Guys, that's a great question. No, they really are doing stuff all the time. Some of the different ET races that are coming in spaceships here, or what you call UFOs, are coming here scientifically to study things, just like we want to study things in space ourselves. They also want to study our Earth. So, yeah, it's a great question. Do they come here, let's say, to relax and enjoy our beaches or whatever? There could be elements of that as well, but mostly they're here to on mission or on certain scientific missions. Nicolette says, my experiences were in the summer. And you had so a lot of stuff happens in the warm weather. Linda Lovely, good to see you. I think we've had a lot of experience with our C5 group in the summer as well, and in the spring and in the fall. Raymond, thanks for joining us here. We have you all to ourselves. They probably have the best beaches on the inner earth. I would imagine they would. Late Freight says they want to see how us humans will react by seeing them. And that's true. That's a really good observation. They do. They want to know how we're going to react to them. I've seen more in the summer, Jimmy Annie says. I've had both. Before winter, not during the winter because it's too cold. During the fall weather, we've been out there in our group over the years and we've seen stuff. Akabar, good to see you. Blessings to you. Joe Cervantes, welcome to the show. Papa Cap says, when people are outside in good weather, more likely you'll see one. Interesting. Nania Business, hey Nania. Steve, good to have you with us. Brian Johnson, Saul Levin, everyone coming in here to Encounters. Carlin, good to have you with us, Carlin. And all the people coming in here now. Steve, thanks for the likes. Katie G, welcome to Encounters. Hey, Narnia, good to have you with us. Hot Pickles, I think it's Hot Pickles. Lizard, hey, Will E, good to see you, Willie. Connoisseur, Stala, thanks for the likes. I'm trying to catch up with all the names here. Flower says, yes, I had a sighting over Long Island Sound across some old line. Hey, Flower Power, when did that happen? When did you have that sighting? Or Nicolette? Or Flower Power? Oh, Flower Power had the sighting. Interesting. Trina Blue, thank you for the likes, everybody. We appreciate it so much. Let's get all the buttons tapping here. Likes are really good, but we want to get everyone involved into the show. Bring people in that's never been in here before. If you have a friend that's had sightings or encounters with space beings, I want to hear their story. Absolutely do. Definitely want to do that. Pretty lady. We have a pretty lady in the house. Jason. Hey, welcome, Jason, to the show. Pretty lady, welcome to Encounters. If you're the first time here on our show, we are a nightly talk show on UFOs and ETs and disclosure. We're actually a talk show for new people. We don't have arguments here. We don't have gaming. We don't have people dressed up in cow suits. We're definitely a talk show. Mercy, good to have you with us. I'm also host of the Sunday morning Ashtar Command radio show for about 20 years on NPR Pacifica Radio every Sunday morning, wesufm.org. I'm just feeling really good. Good to have everybody with us here. I don't know how you're feeling, but I feel the energies have shifted very quickly into a much higher state of consciousness. And it feels very peaceful tonight, too. I hope you're feeling peaceful. I know I am. Excited for the future. Excited for contact. Excited for so many people now having the ability with their phones to record things all over the world. Isn't that a good thing? I was just on Twitter and a UFO hashtag was trending. Interesting. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Susan Marie, thank you for that. We had a Happy Friday Mexican dinner, with my better half, and it was a good thing. Relaxing. The mariachi singers were singing, and we were just really having a nice Friday evening here, I hope you're all having a good Friday evening, wherever you are. I hope you had a good dinner, had a good day. And now we're here together in the galactic realms of Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. Thank you for the passion roses. Oh man, I've never gotten that before. Hey, Chesno. That was different. Holding a rose in my mouth was never had that happen to me before. Living water. Hey, living water. I think it's Adam Carlin. Adam Carlin, welcome to the show. I'm trying to catch the names that they roll in here from TikTok. Hey, Blake Peterson, welcome to our encounters. It's funny how we went from 70-something to 63-something. I know what people do. They do exactly what I always do. I check all the different lives out of whatever it is, and then eventually I come back where I need to be, right? Hey, Blake, good to have you with us. Michelle Rose, thank you for the earth. We appreciate all those. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. What we like to do is hear people's stories. If you're new here, one of the things I love doing is being a listener. I have things I can share with you, and I will. I have a lot of galactic knowledge on a lot of areas, but I like to, oh, thank you, Molly. I like to always hear the stories from people. Katie, welcome. Chrissy, welcome to Encounters. Paulie Man 47, welcome to the top UFO show here on social media. User 375, welcome to the show. Cat, welcome to the show. I have a cat. So, Cat, welcome to the show. I have a beautiful cat, right? Sleeping on the couch right now, resting. So it's a beautiful thing. Moni R, welcome to the show, Moni R. Hey, Cat, welcome. Chrissy, good to see you. Welcome to Encounters. This is a talk show where everyone is welcome. We're not like some of those TikTokers that are egotistically just talking about themselves and no one's interacting with them. I don't know if I could do a live like that. I'd have a hard time doing that. I want to have people around that I can talk to and share stories with them. They can share stories with us. There's a lot of UFO stories out there, and probably some of you, Nicolette has a story. Nicolette's going to come on if she has a story. And we think, we can get Nicolette on. She's got over 2,000 followers. Let's see if we don't have any. I turned my Bluetooth off. I think that was causing problems. We're going to test the waters now. If Nicolette wants to come on live, turn the camera on, Nicolette, and join us. Hey, here she is.
Let me see. Hey there.
How you doing, Nicolette?
Awesome.
Good.
Hello from East Haddam. Let me see if I can fix this.
Yeah, if you can, I think I fixed my problem from the last 2 nights. I was echoing. I turned my Bluetooth off, which I think the Bluetooth was causing problems when I was live. So I don't think anybody should have any problems hearing. I'm not echoing tonight, correct? Everybody, please say no echoes.
I think you're good.
No echoes. Good. Yep, it was my Bluetooth. Yep. Oh, you got so excited you dropped something already. Yeah, we got rid of the echoes.
You're all propped up here.
That's what happens when I listen to my music in the car. I have the Bluetooth on. I forget to turn it off. That's my problem. So, thank God.
Yeah, I'm getting you propped up against my teacup and candle. So,
yeah. It says the guest is echoing. Okay, they're saying you're echoing. My Bluetooth is off, still echoing. Sorry, it's your guest. Okay, so I'm not echoing, but I can still hear my guest pretty good. You don't have any headphones on or your Bluetooth on, do you? Okay.
No.
Well, we'll just go with it. I'm not echoing.
If you're I do hear the echo.
Yeah. Well, most people are saying it's fun, so we'll see. We're not going to fix it on that. All right.
No, I hear an echo.
And Nicolette is in Connecticut. Try muting your mic when she talks. I'll try muting my mic. And I'll mute my mic right now, but I don't know what's going to happen. Then no one's going to hear me. So,
is that better? That seems to be better. Is that good? Okay. So this happened. I'm in Connecticut. I used to live in Old Lyme. This happened in July of 2007. And there's a long road. It's called Route 56 that goes along the coast in Old Lyme. And I'm being a smart ass. I'm driving the pickup truck. My husband, my daughter's in the middle. And I said, oh, look, there's a UFO. Oh, yeah, Mom, you and the UFOs. Do. So we're driving down the road, and it's a long road, okay? And it opens up, and you can see across Long Island Sound. And I'm like, there it is again, but it didn't move. This thing literally was just in one spot, and it was literally over a lighthouse, which is, oh shit, what's her name? Katharine Hepburn's lighthouse. It went right over it. And it knew I was thinking about it. Like there was a moment where I knew that we connected. And I'm driving, I'm like, dude, that's a UFO. My husband's like, holy shit. And my daughter's like, and we go, there's the Baldwin Bridge that goes over the Connecticut River. The thing went right over my truck. We could feel the like the the static electricity. We got off the first exit. I was like, oh, and I stopped the truck because I wanted to take a picture. It was like when cell phones were like, I just had gotten a flip phone. It was 2007. And the thing went right over us. And then it went like a bullet. It just went like that. And it was black triangle, and it had the three lights, boop, boop, boop. And like I knew when it knew everything I was thinking. I connected with it. It blew my mind. Oh, do you want me to move? Yeah, he's muted. Yeah, I unmuted. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I unmuted. I thought he was saying something because I'm happy to mute. I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear him either. You're muted. Yeah, he's muted. So that was the first, well, actually, was that the first experience? I don't know if the first experience was or not, but it was about the same thing, and that was on the Pacific Northwest. He's muted. There he is.
Okay, I'm
Okay, let
unmuted
me
now.
mute.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, can you anybody hear me now? Okay, good. So I was going to try to say, it's a comical thing when this stuff happens, but I was trying to say it was a triangular craft, and it was not, I think, any one of our type of craft because we have reverse engineered spaceships, but I don't think it's reverse engineered. I think it was probably a spaceship that was not terrestrial.
This was so foreign. It couldn't have been. You could feel it.
Yeah.
And I telepathically, it knew we saw it. It knew we saw it and came right over us.
Yeah. And did you feel a sense of communications with it? Like, did you ever, I mean, you were so excited. You're not like in a position,
Oh
let me try to
yeah.
communicate. Now, did you try to communicate with the beings on board, like through like meditation for a moment, or did you like focus on it enough to feel that you could do that?
Years after, just recently, the last maybe 4 years I've been doing that.
Yeah.
This was back in 2007.
2007, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good you're in Connecticut. You're going to be part of our Ashtar Command C5 group. You're not that far from all of us. We have a group in Connecticut, and we haven't gotten together yet because the weather was always really bad. But we're looking forward to getting together before the winter. We'll go out in really cold air. We don't care. As long as there's no snow on the ground, we'll get together and make sure everyone wears warm clothing in
Yeah, I'd
Connecticut.
be happy to hook up with you guys. I'll have to exchange my cell phone number with you through
Hook up with us.
messages.
And Skip the Grace is in our group. Chesno is part of our group. We have a number
cool.
of people on here. Mystic Mark, he's on TikTok. He's part of our group. We have a really solid group of people that have been doing this for a number of years, and we know how to make contact. As Susan Graves said, happened at MSNBC
I
today.
also had contact or another sighting over the Moodus Reservoir.
Oh, I
Do you
know
know
what
where that
Moodus
is
is.
in
I don't
East
know.
Haddam?
I know I've been to Moodus, but never to the reservoir. What happened there? When did that happen?
That was another summertime. It was like August, and there was 3 of them.
Hmm?
There was
Wow.
3 of them. And again, they came right over us, and they were all 3 of them were triangle.
Wow.
And
That's
that was
pretty
in
weird.
2008 or 9. Summer of 09.
09, right? So
Yep.
within I think 2 years of each other, right? The other one was 2007.
Yep.
Then 2 years later, you have another encounter happen with 3 specific craft that were triangular, correct?
Yep. 3 of them
So was
triangle. But
were
they
those 3
didn't come
triangles?
as close. They were like in the distance. The one that I saw the first time came right over our head, and you could our hair stood up.
Now, those 3 triangular craft, Nicolette, did they look similar to the other one that was up close? Did they look similar? Did they look the same?
Yeah.
Or did they look different?
But smaller.
So it seems smaller. It seems to me they were from the same civilization. Now, I'm reading into your story a bit here, but I don't know where they're from. But I'm getting the strongest feeling as you're talking about it. 2 years later, 3 more triangular craft show up and visit you. And the first one was really close, going over your car area in 2 different locations.
Oh, we were in a boat. You were in a boat.
That's pretty wild. How long did the other 3 craft during that period, 2 years later, while you're on the boat over the water, how long did they stick around and you were able to see them?
From the time that we noticed them, it was all within about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
3 minutes.
But they could have been there a little bit longer before you noticed them. They could have still been in the sky high up to where they were. So yeah, but you got to see them. What's in fact important about that is, as I read into your story, 2 years before the larger thing comes closer to you, 2 years later, you're on a boat and 3 of these objects are in the sky near you. Not close up, like the other one was, but they were really there. And that is really important. Do you remember all this, which is great. You remember all the details of what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's life-changing.
Well, it is life-changing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And have you had any visitations since that time? Like for example, I have a feeling, and I'm going to say this, I could be wrong, but 99% of the time when I listen to stories, there's always something else that occurred over the years. And there's a thing called visitation with the watchers who visually saw the craft. You've had visitation. Do you want to talk about that? I know you've had them.
Yeah, it was January 22nd of 2022. Mute your thing so I don't echo.
I don't think you're echoing now. I think we fixed that.
Oh, I can hear my echo.
Well, I think you're all right. Keep going.
Oh. So I was getting out of the shower, and I'm looking in the mirror, and my eyes locked. And I'm looking in my eyes, and they weren't my eyes. And I literally could see myself. Yeah, I can hear myself echoing. I can literally see myself dematerializing. And yeah, I'm echoing bad. I can't. I'm having a hard time.
Okay, hold on. I'm muting. Go ahead.
No, I can still hear you.
Okay. Go ahead. I turned my mute button on.
You muted now? No.
Wait a minute. Now I'm muted. I'm muted now. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I got my microphone on a mute mode. I'm still able to talk to you. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay. And so, no, I'm echoing.
On my mute.
Yeah, you have to mute. That's good. So, anyways, my eyes locked, and all of a sudden, I could see the density. Like I look like static, and I'm like fading in and out, fading in and out. I'm not on anything, okay? Nothing. I've been sober since November of 2018, okay? And all of a sudden, all this information just went, and it told me the density between dimensions is rapidly dematerializing much faster than expected. I got filled up with all of this love and just I've never felt so much love. And it came through to remember it, all the information. It's just too much, but it was about the density dematerializing and how much I was loved, and that there was a reason for all of the suffering that I endured. And it was for me to, experience the heart. And they told me that they evolved out of the heart. They don't have the capacity. So in order to experience the heart, we come into our soul comes into this vessel, the meat suit, and all these lessons are of the heart, of emotion, because there's not that emotion. There's energy, there's light, there's sound. Oh, they told me too. They told me the first dimension was vibration and light. They told me the second dimension was sound and frequency. The third dimension is where we are. The fourth dimension, we can connect through the dreams. That's what they said too. They said this vessel, when we connected, they said, we have found a vessel we can connect to with such ease. And then all this information came flooding down. And they said the fourth dimension we can meet in the dreams. And the fifth dimension is where we meet our soul spirit. When we leave a bodily form, we hang in the fifth dimension realm. And then we go further and further and up. And that was basically it. And it was about maybe, I don't know how long it was. Probably a fleeting moment. And then I connected, but I could see myself fade out and fade right back in. It was, I'll mute so then you can talk.
Unmuted now. Can you hear me now? All right. This phone is crazy. But anyway, or this thing is crazy. So I was going to say to you that when I'm listening to your story, which is so beautiful, the different dimensions, from the 1 to the 5 area. What you had done, you thought it was a fleeting moment, but you were actually taken aboard a spaceship. They were teaching you stuff on a ship. You think it was a fleeting moment. As I'm listening, I was almost taken out of body by what you were saying. I was almost completely taken out because I was like tuned in, so tuned in. You were taken onto a spaceship. What was a moment on Earth time was like 2 weeks in space. About 2 weeks in space with the space people that took you. They were teaching you things, and you felt all this stuff coming into your body, but you were taken on a spaceship. I just unbelievable. You were just taken on a spaceship for 2 weeks, to be exact, in Earth time. So for you, it felt like a fleeting moment in time because you're on Earth, but you were
That's one of
taken
the
right on.
things they told me, that it was all a fleeting moment. They said,
Yes, a fleeting moment.
what's years in your time is a drop in the bucket to us. There's
Yes,
no
yes.
comprehension to it. And I was
No.
given all this information had to be internalized and digested, and I knew it had to be. I started writing like 20 years ago,
Yeah.
and it's weird. It's all been the same, but then on 2002, I started writing called Cobweb Manifesto, and it's a stream of consciousness. And that last time with it had to be like, I've written it 3 times. It's been taken in a laptop by my ex-husband. It got ruined by rain. I burned it. It's published. I finished it and I published it. I had to get it done. That was my mission to them. Like I took that seriously.
Yeah. No, you were actually, as I was being taken out of body for a moment on the show, I was feeling where you were, and you were on a spaceship. They took you what you call a fleeting moment. See, on Earth, people here might not understand this, but I'll share this with you. What people have been taken, and they tell a story about, and encounters with space people, and in the many decades, I've heard stories at UFO conferences in other places where some interesting stories have been told. The person will say, it felt like I was taken, like I was here, but I wasn't here. And what happens is when you're taking on a spaceship by the space people, they can take you on the ship and you'll forget about time on Earth. You'll have what you call a fleeting moment. And I keep going back to that because it's an amazing story you were telling everybody here on the show. That fleeting moment. And when you talk to them and they said, basically they're saying time does not exist.
It
So when
doesn't.
you're with them, there's no time. So you could be with them for a whole year, and it could be a fleeting moment on Earth because we operate in
They
time.
also told
But
me our calendar is wrong.
yeah,
It
it
should be
is
a
wrong.
circle.
Yeah, our calendar is completely off. It's totally wrong. The Earth-based calendars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're absolutely correct. Your information is right, exactly where it should be. Very,
It
very
blew
much
my
so.
mind.
You know, it would. I mean, you know, and you can. I'm also getting for you information, and this is what I love about this show is when I hear stories like yours and other people, I get information. I can't make any of this up. I don't know how to call it. I can't word it and what that makes me in terms of, there's no label I can put on it. But I will tell you that the information I'm getting is if you focus on them again, they will come back. If you focus on them this week and meditate on them specifically, invite them back, and they will take you in whatever way they do it. I can't explain how that works, how they take you on the ship in that fleeting moment deal, but
I
I do know
dematerialized. I
they
watched myself
dematerialize.
disappear.
Yeah, they beamed you up on a ship. That's what it's a beam, not like we see on Star Trek or things like that, but they beamed you on to dematerialize and materialize your molecular structure. I'm going to explain what this is, and people might want to learn something here. If you ever get beamed up on a starship, by the space brothers and sisters. Your body molecular structure will, like you just said, dematerialize in a fleeting moment. It will dematerialize and then rematerialize on board the spaceship. So there's nothing, what's happening is your whole molecular body structure dematerializes and materializes again in perfect structure.
They told me that was happening faster than they were expecting.
Yeah. And when they said that the dimensions are the vibrational patterns of the earth and the dimensions between dimensions are becoming thin or hollow, what they were talking about then was there's a point where the vibrational patterns of the earth are going much higher. So in 30 years, for example, and even back in 2007 and 2009 when you had these encounters, what they're telling you is that the veil is thinning. The veil was thinning back then. The veil around the earth in our dimensional pattern was thinning. And the reason why, now the veil has lifted. There's no veil anymore. That's why everything's happening now. There's no veil anymore around the planet, in our dimension, even in our solar system, even in our universe. The veil between everything is disappeared. That's why everybody out here, when they come on here, are telling me stories about encounters, visitations, because there's no veil. There's not even a wall around the planet. There's no invisible glass wall. That's all hogwash. It's not true.
Yeah, I learned that a really harsh way.
Yeah.
If you want to mute again, I'll explain a little bit.
Oh, go ahead. You can explain it. People, I think that we're good. Let's just keep going.
Oh, okay, because I can
You'll
hear
be
my
all right.
mute. I can hear the echo. So I had a really difficult time. I was in a really bad car accident back in 2008. And I was addicted to pain medication before I even got out of the hospital. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I suffered through an addiction with benzos and opiates for years. I thought I was going to die. I was committed to die. That's how scared of withdrawal I was. Like, this doesn't happen to people. I quit cold turkey one night from a dream, and it was the same experience that I was so loved. I could feel this love all around me before I went to bed. And I never slept. I used to stay up for days. I felt all this love, like beings around me before I went to sleep. Then I had this dream, and I could see, I felt like I was like in Iraq. And there was sand. I was standing, on the sand, and I could see army boots, and we're kicking a hacky sack. And they said, Nicolette, do you see that? Or no, they said, do you smell that? And I said, no, I don't smell that. I lost my sense of smell and taste in a car accident. And they said, oh, you don't smell that? And I said, no. And then I heard a bunch of seagulls. And I look out and there's a little black dot and it gets closer and closer. And I said, what is that? And they said, it was like a Quonset hut on a barge. This isn't a dream. My first husband was a funeral director, so I worked in the funeral home business. I'm very familiar with it. They said, that's the death ship. The smell of death is all around you. That ship takes the fallen troops. It can embalm, casket, or cremate right on the ship and send them back to the homeland. And they just dumped the bilge. Don't you get it, Nicolette? The smell of death is all around you. And I woke up from that dream. Nobody quits opiates and benzos cold turkey. I gave my keys to my brother, my access to all funds. I've never touched that shit ever again or ever looked back. And I have this deep love and honor and respect for myself that I could even have done such things to myself. But those are the lessons. Those are the things we learn. And there's a connection. Something's going on, because for me to stop, something's happening. You can unmute. Oh, where do you go? Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. It's a long road, you know. Can't hear you. I did go on to write and publish a book that's available on Amazon. It's called Cobweb Manifesto, and it's that stream of consciousness. There is life. There is recovery. Recovery does happen. Yeah. It can happen to anybody. He's still muted.
Now I should not be muted anymore.
There you are.
There you are. I'm not touching my mute button anymore. I unmuted already. I'm unmuted. We hear you now. Good. I'm leaving that mute button alone, folks. Not again. But well, your story is beautiful. The manifesto, what you explained, you came from that experience of addiction, the space people. Your stories, how you led up with the sightings of the first ship in 2007, the 3 other craft in 2009, and then when I said I had encounters, and you're sharing that part of the story, I had the strongest feeling something else happened. And now look at you. You're a beautiful person, Nicolette. Your light shines so brightly, and you should be very proud of yourselves. We all are. You're a beautiful person. You really are.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It touches my heart. I mean, when someone cries like this, it affects my whole thing. I'm very proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Very proud.
Yeah, it was a really rough couple of years. I lost my mother, my father, and my husband all in a year.
Oh my God.
And that's when I went really heavily into the addiction. And thank God I was saved.
Mm-hmm. You were saved. And those light beings, those space people, they love you.
Oh, so
you're connected with them.
So
there is a lot of
love.
And plus you're here with us, and the tribe here, the people here, they all love you. I want you to know that.
And here's the finished. Here it is. Look at it. Soft cover.
Oh, there's that's the soft cover manifesto. Very
and
good.
hardcover.
Very good. We're very proud of you. Very, very proud of you. Very
and it's
beautiful.
about finding that deep love back to that self.
How could
and
people,
that's the kind of love I was filled up with. I was filled up with the love that I had as a child.
Can people, Nicolette, how could people find your book? How if they want to get your book?
Well, I can put a thing here. It's called
Cobweb. Yeah, we're your book.
You don't have to do that. If it helps anybody, that's why it was written. And it's on Amazon.
You're a writer. You've had a connection that's very deep. And I want people to have the ability, if they want the book, you tell them how they can get it, and you're more than welcome to do that. Yeah,
it's on Cobweb. It's on Cobweb Manifesto, and it's on Amazon.
Oh, great. So that's how you can get our book, everyone. View show here on Encounters. And Nicolette, you are an amazing person. You really are. You're a beautiful soul. Now I'm speaking.
Thanks, man.
from Earth. No, I'm speaking from an Ashtar command level right now, and you touched my heart, and I know you've touched other people's heart here. Without a question. You got me all emotional looking at you here.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, you are.
I know Kat, she
You know,
was down in the chat. She said she had an experience, but I don't know if she has enough people to come up. Oh, I
where's
love you
Kat?
too, man. Thank you.
We
Oh,
can bring Kat up if there's enough people. One of the things about this show is I have no ego. There are some people that are all about themselves on TikTok, and they have this big ego, and they want to be this big superstar. I'm not here to be a big superstar. I'm here to help people. I'm here to help people like yourself, share stories, bring us together. And that's what I'm here to do. And that's why it's a spiritual UFO show, not a nuts and bolts UFO show. Because I don't come from Earth, I'm affected by things on Earth, and I'm very tuned into the frequency of love, which is the very highest frequency we can live at. And, to see all the things I've seen over the years, on this planet, to see all the destruction, all the artificial things that people think are important, like being successful and having billions of dollars and owning 5 islands on the planet Earth. Those things are not important. Those things are the illusion. What's really important is that we touch from the heart, and you have your heart touching every soul in here. Your heart touches every single person in here, and you've helped somebody in here. I know you have. They might have gone through what you've gone through. Maybe they're going through it. So your story will help many, many people here. So I thank you so much.
Oh, I know it's just not me. I wasn't alone doing it.
No, you weren't. And you're not even alone here on Encounters. Everybody loves you. Everybody here loves you. You're part
Very
of the tribe
kind.
here of the show. Yes. That's the only way I
This
can be. I
is,
can't be.
I
I'd
believe
be
this is
very
why
foolish
we've
to try.
incarnated.
Yeah.
There is a
The
reason
beings
why
that you,
we're all here.
and the contact with the beings that came to who shared their love with you eventually when you had contact, uh, I keep getting, they're saying, I don't know who they are specifically, but they're saying, Nicolette, please contact us. You are with us. We are always watching over you. And they are. They're watching over you all the time. Sometimes they visit you
They're
when you're
right over.
sleeping.
I know that when I was telling my story, they're like, I can feel them. It's like the
Yeah, they're
frequency
there.
is in my jaw. It goes right through
Oh,
me.
yeah. Yep. They actually are there more often than you think. When you go about your day, when you're in your home specifically, that is the place where they want to meet you. So where you are now is in a good area. I think you're in a more rural area. That's perfectly a good place. You are in a rural area, and they will come to you if you ask them to. So, yeah, let you know that they can physically manifest in your home. They can just manifest it, just like that. If they want to take you on board their ship again, they can dematerialize your body in the molecular structure and take you back on the ship. What's going on?
I think that happened. I think that might have happened.
It did
You
happen.
guys don't think I'm crazy.
No, we're not.
I sleep in a hammock, okay? Every night I sleep in a hammock. It's in my bedroom. Look at the jewelry I wear. Okay? I wear jewelry every day, every night. There was 2 times I woke up and I have no jewelry on, and it's all in the bottom of my hammock.
Really?
My earrings, my rings, everything.
Taken off. And you were sleeping. Yeah, because they were dematerializing you to go on the ship and you didn't even realize you were there. That's a beautiful thing. In your case, that's a beautiful thing. They dematerialized you by the molecular structure of your body. I have never talked about this much, but I understand it very, very clearly. So they dematerialized your body through the molecular structure, and they reconnected you within like nanoseconds. Then you were back in your hammock. You didn't even realize you're on the ship, but you were. Now, if you
No.
wish to learn about what they were telling you at the time you were in the hammock, you can ask them what happened, and they'll talk to you. Use your telepathy. You have it. You have the ability. So that'll be like your fun homework
Just
assignment.
mind blowing. So you
Yeah.
don't feel a connection to who these beings are because I never get a clear who they are. There's a lot of people say they're, they identify with who and who and who. But when I was
Well, I am
little,
getting. Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say
when
that
I was,
as a. Go ahead. You go tell your story, but I am
oh,
still tuning in on that a little bit more. But go ahead.
yeah, when I was little, my grandmother, she's full-blooded German. She was a Meissner and a Moorbacher, like real full-blooded German. I'm O negative, and she would hold me. I remember being 2, 3, 4 years old, and she would point up to the Seven Sisters, and she's like, "That's where we're from." I didn't. The Seven Sisters is the Pleiades.
Right. So people need to understand something. The Pleiades is an area, just like in other systems. The Pleiades is an area, but in the Pleiadian star system area, there are planets. There are planets out there. And in those planets that do exist out in that realm, there are civilizations that exist. And they call themselves Palladians. So the Seven Sisters, when they come to you and say they're from the Seven Sisters, those are Palladian beings from the
Well,
Palladian
they've
area.
never told me where they were from. That was just my
Yeah.
grandmother used to tell me, like the story, Orion's Belt and the Seven Sisters, and she'd say that that's where we're from.
Now, the beings that are taking you on board the ship are very advanced. As a matter of fact, what I'm getting for you is, give me a moment. They want me to use the word light beings. So they are physically informed, men and women too. They are light beings. They are, I'll tell you how tall they are. Give me a moment. I'll give you a moment to give you that information. They are between, the least height would be near 7 feet. The tallest one would be about 8 feet tall. 7 to 8 feet tall, to be exact. Yes.
You're spot on. That's what I say. It's light,
Yes. Yes. I'm right now
and it's a
tuned on a different
rainbow
frequency.
body. It's a light
Yes.
rainbow body.
And the rainbow body that you express, their forms can shift depending on where they are. Their physical body can shift to be more visibly acceptable. Because if they walked around in what you call the physical light body on the street, it might freak some people out because the brilliance of their bodies is very bright. Understand, the brilliance of their bodies is extremely, in many
It's
cases,
gold.
multicolored. Yes,
It's like
very
gold,
bright.
rainbow sparkles.
They're very, very beautiful. They are in such a high frequency, and they love you so much. I'm getting very tuned in. They love you very, very much. They care about
Brings me
you.
to tears. How much love.
Yes, they love you very much.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop saying that word because that's what they want me to tell you. They love you in a way that you do not understand, or maybe you do. You're never going to
No,
be
I do.
alone ever. Never will you be alone.
It's a lot of love.
It is. I feel it. That's why I can share it with you. That's why I can share it with you. And crying is a beautiful thing because those are tears of joy, right? Those are the tears of joy,
Oh yeah.
of remembrance.
there's just, you have to share it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want. They were like, you have to share this.
Mm. Yeah, they don't want you to keep it in yourself. They're telling me they don't want you to keep it in. You're here on a mission, on a beautiful mission that you're going to help people. That's what you're here to do. Your soul is here to help other souls as we transfer the planet into another frequency of the ascension, the contact that's going to be happening in the next few years. You're one of those important people that are going to come purely in love to help another. And when the ships start coming in and people don't understand what's happening, you'll be able to help them. You know that?
This was another start of it all, too. This was when I first sobered up. Okay. November, I think, is my sober date for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I celebrated it. I think it's today. It's 5 years.
5 years.
So a month later, I started picking up a paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, wait, I can't flip my camera, can I? They won't let me.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. You did that?
They want the vibrations of the colors.
Ah, look at that.
There's messages.
Look at that. Okay.
They're messages.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Look at that.
Oh, wait, there's more. Oh, I don't know if you can see.
Oh, look at those. Wow. Look at that. Oh, wow. Look at those pictures.
That's me staying up and till those are all 3 o'clock in the morning things.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Oh, that's a beautiful. Oh, let's see that one really close. Look at that one. That's a beautiful, beautiful painting. Nicolette, that's very beautiful. Wow, look at the picture of the.
There's they wanted the colors together.
Yeah.
And that's what they wanted, was the colors together.
Wow, Nicolette, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Everyone here is just enjoying looking at this.
I had no idea what I was doing. I had no clue.
Wow.
I still don't. It just flows through me. I have no interruptions. I'm blessed.
I love the picture, the painting of the spaceship with the beam. That painting is beautiful. They're all beautiful. That one really, like in the picture that you painted of the different beings, those paintings are so beautiful. They were just incredible. Very beautiful.
Oh! This is other stuff. See, the manifesto was written through 20 years of notebooks. This is one of the notebooks after, I started getting, I guess it's contact.
Mm-hmm.
But there's let me see if I can see. It's just, there's just pages of it.
Mm.
In it, hang on.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, they give me messages, don't, they give me just messages. This is like 3
Wow.
o'clock in the morning stuff.
So they're giving you messages. Look at that, folks. Look at all the intricate things that they're giving her. It's amazing.
And then there's like a language, like it looks, somebody told me it looked like ancient Arabic. I don't know if you can see it. I can't switch it around.
Yeah, I see it. It looks like Arabic. You're writing in Arabic, but you don't know how to write in Arabic, do you?
I don't know nothing about nothing, honey. Look,
Oh, it's
we are
amazing.
here now from out of nowhere, your planet. All of you can see we are here. It's no surprise. Nobody knows how fast we are going. You are not understanding. The Earth is your ship. Hello. Ever
Wow, that's
shifting, ever changing. The choice is yours. I see you all so clearly. Our energy is so big now. It's just pages of it.
wow.
Have you
They've
suffered
done
enough yet? They wanted us to know that that's a choice.
right.
Only you can decide when you have suffered enough.
Yeah. No, it's and we're going to bring some other people up with us, Nicolette, some other of our tribe here. So we're going to have a little bit of stuff going here. Freedom shapes. Freedom, we're going to bring you on. And Freedom, I'm following you now.
Right,
We're going to invite you on. And only some beautiful things here. So Freedom's, hey, good to see you, brother.
Hey, how's it going? How are you guys doing
Good.
today? I think
Nicolette has had some interesting stuff going on here.
Nicolette has some really interesting stuff going on, and I'm really happy to see it, and I think it's beautiful. I think we talked maybe a few weeks ago.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Right, Nicolette, I think you are absorbing what I call in my research what I call the decorated substratum. And the decorated substratum are archetypal imagery that you can absorb through consciousness itself. And I think that this conscious barrier is somehow permeating through you, and you are able to sort of absorb it in sort of a primitive way. By the way, that's no offense. We are all primitive when we are trying to absorb this information, and a lot of the times it's coming at us from these weird things, and it's really hard for us to interpret. Is there an echo, or is that just me?
No, there is maybe me. I'm going to turn my mic off for a minute. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about no, you're good. Don't do that because we'll never get you back. I remember last time that happened. But yeah, go ahead and continue. I'd like to just see where we're at, and we could jump in and I can jump in whatever. Like I said, we talked about this before. I have a little bit of a different perspective on this. I'm on an investigative journey through consciousness as well, and what I have found is that we are perhaps have been in the presence of a short-statured hominin on this planet that has found a metaphysical framework that is at odds with our metaphysical framework, and it's basically led them to telepathy and connecting to what I call the source. And they are imprinting their presence into this source, which I think which makes up for a lot of encounters with short-statured humanoid beings, including certain UFOs and things like this. And I think that you're connected to some parts of this source. And I can see in some of your work a lot of consistencies with my research. And I'll go ahead and let you guys comment on that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Steve, for the those things on the screen there. Yeah, it's interesting, Freedom, and it's interesting, Nicolette, to bring everyone together in this tribe on my show here, because we're all coming together for a reason. Everyone's researching in different ways. Like Freedom, you're giving a great perspective on what you're getting, and that can only expand. Your perspective can't. Our perspectives will never ever stay the same because they can't. For us to be able to evolve a higher state of consciousness, our consciousness is rapidly going crazy right now, and it is. No matter where you are, you can't deny looking at yourself in the mirror and say, I wasn't the same person I was 10 years ago. My consciousness is now rapidly going crazy. The way I'm learning things here too. Like for me, be able to read people's stories and connect with the beings as they're telling me, connecting with your beings that you're connected with, Nicolette. And I had no idea that was going to happen. But in this year is the first year I started being able to tune into other beings and listen to what they're telling me to tell the person who's telling me the story. So as you tell me the story, I'm getting information, and every time I give information back, uh, I wait to see what the response is. I don't want to give misinformation. I will not do that. But I am evidently expanded my consciousness to such a point now where I can hear what they're saying. My body gets a certain frequency tingling going on, and then I give you the information. You already know everything I told you tonight is accurate. I had no idea or what any perception that, I'm not like a card reader. I don't have a crystal ball. Everything comes to me cosmically naturally. They have absolutely activated every part of my cellular structure on this planet now. And I'm glad to be a vessel on my UFO show to be able to give information. If I don't know the information, I tell people, if you ask me a question, I don't know the answer, I'm not going to do a fake answer. I won't do it. I just never will. I have to be honest, about myself. As I learn things, or if I'm activated and I know something, I'll share it. If I don't, I'll just say, no, I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe somebody else does. Maybe I don't. I'm honest enough to do that. That's the part of me that's so important. I can't do what I do on radio for 20 years or on here and not be honest about it. Because if I'm not honest about it, then I would never do it. I would never do the radio show. I wouldn't do my mission work. I wouldn't do workshops. I have a drive to help other people like you do. And that's why Nicolette is so important, because you now are really on a mission. You are on a mission. You are in command of your own spirit. You are connected with these beings that are 7 to 8 feet tall. They're men and women. They are brilliantly in a very high state of consciousness. And all the things you said, all the paintings, there's a purpose for each painting. There's a code in them. And even the paintings you had of the space beings in that book you were opening up, your downloaded information, you're being given what looks like Arabic language, which is probably some ET language that you will eventually understand and translate. I don't understand it yet. I'd have to see the book in person, but I would tell you that you yourself will translate it. They will help you translate the language.
Does
that make sense to you?
Yeah, it's strange because I can write it fluently.
Yeah.
I know what I'm writing, but I can't read it back to you. I have no clue.
No, that's okay.
But
And
I'm
you don't
very
have to.
interested, Freedom, in what you were saying, because when you're like this, when your psychic doors blow in. Okay, I wasn't asking for any of this, and
Right.
I don't have a lot of people around me. I don't have any family left. I only have my brother and my daughter. So can you imagine what it's like having this kind of awakening where you're dematerializing and shit, and you can't tell anybody? This is confirmation. Like the confirmation comes little by little, and I've learned you have to be patient for that. It doesn't just come, the confirmation, but I'm secure in the past now.
Yes. I think honesty is going to be your friend, because as soon as, these conscious experiments that or experiences rather that are happening, it seems that they aren't as coherent as we'd like them to be. And I think that's a big problem, and I think that's been the main problem throughout society, throughout cultures, throughout history, of people trying to describe this phenomenon. And that's why a lot of people have gotten it, we've gotten it jumbled up. We've attributed whatever the technology at the time is to this phenomenon. We, throughout since, at least 700 BC, since Homer wrote about this and Plato wrote about this, all the way till now to the modern day philosophers like Descartes and everyone else that's experiencing these strange phenomenons within our consciousness that seem to be permeating through every facet of our lives. If you care to listen, there seems to be something there. Now the problem is that we have a hard time deciphering what it is, and we get it mumbled and jumbled up. And I don't have an answer for how we can, I don't have an answer for how to streamline what it really is. Okay, but with my research and what I've done is I've been able to
Let me
find
write
patterns.
this down. Where did you say it was coming from again? I just want to write it down.
So these are my own theories, and like you say, in the spirit of honesty, in the spirit of, we have to tell. You can never know when we're delusional or what. So let me just blanket before I tell you about my theories and anything. Just with that, this is my speculation. This is what I think is going on. I call this the fractaled source. Okay, the fractaled source is basically what objective reality is, what the universe is, what reality around us is not this physical matter around us. That is just an illusion that consciousness gives us by dissociating from the source. Now, the source is consciousness itself. It is one consciousness. I am one consciousness. You are one consciousness. We are all the same consciousness, but we've become dissociated from that source. Okay, so we think of ourselves as different. That's why you don't associate with the ground. That's why you don't identify with the microphone in front of you. We're dissociated from it. But in reality, this is all one thing. That what evolution is a dissociative artifact that separates you from things around you in order to survive. Now, survival is remaining dissociated. Now, what I think is going on is that people like us, people that have, like me, who have done entheogens and different chemicals that have altered my state of consciousness in order to connect to this source, and people like you who have it spontaneously without the need of any of this stuff, right? Like you yourself too. What can I call you, by the way? CmdrAleon?
Call me Aleon. That's my real name from Mars is Aleon, Aleon, Aleon.
Got you. And I think there's a bad echo. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry about that. I have. There's none on my end, but I do hear. I'm not sure where it is.
I just muted my mic. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay. Is there any echo on my end? I hope not.
I don't hear echo on your end, just on mine for some reason.
All right. We'll just deal with it. The universe is doing its thing, so here we go.
And yeah, I apologize. I don't know what that is. I shouldn't have an echo because I got. I'm not sure. Maybe if I turn this off. I don't think so. Anyways, so what I think is going on? Yeah, this echo is really weird. I know that you guys were dealing with it before, but it's
we're just gonna.
Let me just try to power through it.
You
Let
guys
me try to
sound
power
great
through it,
to
and
me.
I'll leave after this. I just wanted to, drop in my 2 cents for a second. But what I think is going on is that this source, for whatever reason, we are reassociating with, and these layers of reassociation that we're facing are infinite layers of fractal associations of information. And these little bits of information make up the one information that is the whole entire source of consciousness itself. Now, so people like us, we find ourselves in positions where we are reassociating with this consciousness. And I think what's happening is that we are interacting with the substratum of this conscious thing, okay? This conscious fractal. And in this conscious fractal is the substratum, and this substratum has been decorated, what I call decorated, by other entities in the universe over time, like cosmic cave paintings that we come to find through boundary dissolution, which seems to be when you deactivate your brain, when you lose oxygen in your brain, like hypoxia, psychedelic experiences, meditative trances, these kind of things. What they do is they reduce oxygen to your default mode network in your brain. And
Okay. I just want to add, I am a near-death experiencer, and I did have a seizure disorder. And I don't know if those two things, I have a traumatic brain injury, as well. So I don't
that
know.
that definitely that definitely is part of a pattern. That is definitely part of the pattern. And so when you have some kind of reduction in the oxygen in your brain, it seems to be that people report connecting to this. Let's just call it the connected field of consciousness. The conscious. We are all part of one consciousness, okay? And somehow we connect to this consciousness. Now, in parts of these conscious fractals, it seems that there's entities that have figured this out already, either in the future or in the past or whatever it is, that have decorated this substratum with their likeness. This is why you run into encounters with archetypal imagery, like geometric patterns, specific types of aliens, or aliens, mantid type creatures, gnomes, elves, machine elves, these archetypal imageries that keep haunting us throughout history, even to now, are still there. And I think that this is what's happening, and I think that you are perhaps sort of connected to this.
Well, it's strange that you say this because there are levels to this travel. Now, I've traveled five times, and each time there was a level.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you just get deeper and deeper and more absorbed into this
I
fractal
started
layer.
in a field of flowers, and then it got dark, and then I went with the whales, and then we went. There's no words for what I've seen.
It's interesting that you mentioned whales, because whales have to be in a constant state of hypoxia, don't they?
They took me there, the
Whales don't
whales.
breathe very often, do they? I would love to study a whale brain to see, because I feel like a whale, they're constantly underwater. They emerge every hour or whatever it is, and they are possibly connected to this space too. Because I hear a lot about whales. You hear a lot about, you know, yeah.
Yes,
Through my research, I've definitely heard a lot about whales.
they're on the same frequency. That was explained to me that they're on the same harmonic. They're on the same harmonic.
Right. And so harmonic,
And that's how you travel is on this harmonic. I don't know how to explain it. I'm
how I
sorry.
explain it is the fractal layers. So we are one fractal of consciousness,
Yeah.
and you keep growing and growing to, like, us three could be one fractal, and it's all three of our identities combined into one, and then all of humankind is another fractal, and then it's the universe, and then it's this, and all of these layers of information you can associate with through these experiences. And there seems to be a specific area here where other entities have, like, carved in their experiences that sometimes we connect with. And that's what I'm thinking. And I call this crypto parallel terrestrial evolution. Yes.
Crypto
Crypto parallel
parallel.
terrestrial evolution. It's a secret hidden hominin that's been evolving alongside of man, parallel to man, for millions of years. And I think, yeah.
And the thing about the whales and also the seals, not the whales and the dolphins.
Dolphins.
The dolphins have a very high consciousness. They're very advanced. That's why our military have tried to use dolphins for their own purpose, which is wrong. The dolphins are very, very advanced. Matter of fact, there are stories about the dolphins connecting with Lemuria and Atlantis that the dolphins transformed their structure, their body, to be what they are now. They are, so when a dolphin comes to you, it can understand what you're saying. It can understand your consciousness. If you can turn the dolphin's words into verbal English, you'd be learning a lot from the dolphins because they come from a very high frequency. Same thing with the whales.
Absolutely. John C. Lilly did that exact thing. John C. Lilly studied the dolphins. He studied the communications with the dolphins. He gave them LSD. He sat in a isolation tank, and he meditated on these things through ketamine and other things, and he found some very interesting things. A lot of what we all have experienced, and you get these patterns. And another pattern I want to mention, by the way, to you when you bring up the dolphins. That's so interesting because what is the pattern here? Dolphins, they spend time underwater. They still have to go up for air, right? So they're spending a long period of time without air. This is causing their default mode network to reduce in oxygen. And when you what happens when you reduce oxygen in your
Well, and
default
they're
mode
also, think about it, they're also mammals with a live birth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're mammals. They're not fish. They're mammals.
Exactly.
They have a
So they have a similar brain structure. I mean, I don't really know about their brain structure. I'm sure they have what's considered a default mode network.
Yeah.
Some internal cognition to the self. When you deactivate the self, you seem to reassociate with everything else around you.
Yeah.
And when you reassociate with everything else around you, there seems to be other entities there trying to communicate with you.
And I just want to take a moment of Freedom Shapes here. We have Nicolette. Nicolette, I'll call you a contactee now that I know your story. A contactee is somebody who has positive interactions with the space beings, and you certainly do. And freedom of speech, Freedom Shapes. I mean, I have a feeling that you, again, I've had you on before, so I know your energy, but I have a feeling that you have had some encounters at some point in your life to be where you are now. Even though you're not talking about it, I get a real strong sense of that. Am I correct?
Yes, I have had. Well, I mean, when I was 14 years old, I accidentally bought the strongest entheogen known to man from a gas station, and I began this weird relationship with a perceived community of gnomes. That lasted for about 10 years, only through the use of psychedelics, by the way, was this happening. Over about the course of 10 years. And then in 2013, I was visited by a craft, a flying saucer, that I could not explain. It came to me at a very strange time while I was thinking about aliens. I was thinking about flying saucers, and it just appeared to me as an orb, and then came over me, a 40-foot flying saucer with lights underneath. It was very strange, and I thought it was maybe some technology that United States had or something that we'd find out about. 10 years later, obviously, there's nothing there. I'm just another guy that saw something weird in the sky. And through psychedelic mental experiments, we'll call them, for lack of a better word, you know what I'm saying? Through these mental experiments, these beings have told me that was them. And, it's up to me to decipher whether that's just nonsense in my mind or if that's some sort of thing that I should be paying attention to. And the only thing that I can pay attention to is the patterns throughout time, from people writing about their experiences, people like Nicolette talking about their experiences, people like you talking about their experiences. And the patterns that emerge are not to be scoffed at, and they need to be talked about. In
your experience, Freedom, I think if you, like I told with Nicolette, and I know if you do this, true, a homework assignment for you, if you choose to refocus on the imagery, and you remember every aspect of that ship that was over you, you do. Oh, yeah. You have every ability in your consciousness to communicate with them. This is the one thing I teach people is without the logical part, we throw the logical out when we're doing this. We don't think logically if we're making contact. We think non-logically. What do I mean by that? I mean, throw the logic out for that period to make the contact. You are telepathic. You're able to do that. Everyone, there's no one exclusive to telepathy on this planet. But unless you know that you have that ability, you wouldn't know how to use it. You have that ability. just like Nicolette has that she communicates with them. So many people I've interviewed have the ability to reconnect to the experience. So if you go back to that day or that night when that big ship that was really big was there, you can connect and ask who the beings were there, because they were there. Your logical mind says, well, you know what? We got to do it this way. No. Sometimes
Right.
you got to put the brain aside and just take a leap and
Your
jump into the
logical mind
unknown.
is what stops you from connecting to this energy.
That's
Your
right.
logical mind is going to stop you. It hinders you from. So that's what meditation is all about. That's what psychedelics
He's
are all about.
absolutely
It's
right. Right.
just
Yeah.
letting go and being able to intercept these thoughts. And you know that's really hard to do. That's really hard to do. It takes practice. It takes and so that's what I think. In long term, we are headed towards an evolutionary path that is going to make that a lot easier. And I think that is with generational hypoxia. Just like I think that these gnomes have experienced this generational hypoxia, these short-statured beings that have been around us since writing have been living in caves, and because they've been living in caves, here's the pattern again, they've been living in low oxygen areas, and they've decorated the substratum. They've been able to connect to this space. This is why when people do psychedelics, they see gnomes, they see elves. This is why every single culture has seen gnomes and elves, shamans, everything. It's a very rich folklore that seems to be congruent across culturally isolated civilizations throughout time. And so I think that they've suffered this generational hypoxia, and I think that
The
is
echo
going
is
to.
so bad.
Yeah, it is.
I just turned the
Yeah.
mic. Okay.
But
Can you hear it?
it's.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you still.
I'm gonna mute because I'm the problem.
No,
I'm
I
on
was
mute
listening
right
to
now.
you.
We're listening to you. We
It's
can hear you.
no, totally. I appreciate you guys for listening. I think it's hard to talk though, because like when I talk, then I hear
I know you
myself
have
and
a
I get
bad
mixed
echo.
up. Yeah,
Commander has to mute.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't want him to mute because he's got a lot to say. But I'm gonna just,
Right.
hey, on this note, I'd like to thank you so much for having me on, and everyone in the chat that's been sending me comments and coins and stuff. I
I'm gonna
appreciate
try
you
to
guys.
follow you because I'd like to talk to you more. I'd like to discuss more with you. For
Absolutely.
sure.
Follow me, send me a message, and we'll be in contact, and I can share with you some things that I've found, and maybe writing, maybe it's more clear because I know this stuff is really complicated and strange. So, Nicolette, you're on a
Hey,
journey, sir. You as well. What do I call you again? It's hard to.
okay, Freedom. I'm Aleon. I'm from Mars.
Aleon.
You probably heard my story about Mars. Yeah, I
Yes.
come from Mars, and I'm fully conscious, and I'm like a cosmic book. So ask me anything you want, and if I don't know the answers, I will honestly tell you I don't.
I can feel that energy from you, and I really appreciate it. And on that note, we will meet again. We will meet again, and next time, get a set of headphones. No, I'm just messing. I appreciate you guys so
Maybe I
much.
can get the microphone like you have eventually.
It's
There you
probably
go.
it's probably me that's making the echo, to be honest. But hey, I appreciate you guys. You have a great night. And
You too,
can you?
Freedom. Nice
I don't
to
know how to
talk to you again.
leave. Can you?
I can help
kick
you
me
do
out?
that way. That Boing thing is pretty funny. So yeah, we're back here, and that's Freedom, a friend of the show. He came on. I always love his stories. He brings a different aspect to the spiritual aspects and the cosmic aspects. Always good to have you, Freedom. Thank you for being here. And you're watching Encounters, the late night UFO show on a Friday night. And Nicolette's here with us, and she's tremendous,
What it is this is confirmation.
Yeah, total confirmation. And that's
Confirmation is
why
very important.
Oh man, it is. Hey Molly, thank you for the golden game. I think it's called the golden game. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for their gifts tonight. You folks were beautiful, amazing. We have a great audience here, and we're on here for a while because it's Friday night. So if you wish to join Nicolette and myself, the host, I'm CmdrAleon, the host of Encounters. Please feel free. If you're over 200 followers, you can come on the show, tell us your experiences. They want to hear about your near-death experience, Nicolette. You were just getting into that a little bit. I would like to hear about that experience. When was that?
Well, one of them, like that I really checked out was Thanksgiving night of 2008 when I had my car accident. And I was gone. I was part of, like, I was part of everything. Like, I was everywhere. I was everything. And that's where I got my brain injury from
Oh,
that car
okay.
wreck. I wrecked a 66 Beetle convertible. So you can imagine hitting a rock wall with that. There was a drunk in my lane. And the second time was from seizures. I basically almost checked out from them. My dad, they called the ambulance, and my dad came before the ambulance did. He couldn't wait anymore, and they threw me in his pickup truck. And I could remember, like, I'm like, Dad, I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know what seizures were. And yeah, I checked out, and I was over I was floating over the East Haddam Bridge. Like
Oh my
I
God.
saw everything.
What was
It
that
blew my
like? You were
mind.
floating over the East Haddam Bridge. I'm from Connecticut, so I know where the East Haddam Bridge is. When you were floating out of your body over the bridge, what did that feel like? What was that like?
I didn't want to come back. It was just so
Yeah.
beautiful. It was so
When you say,
beautiful. And then when I
what did you
came
see?
back, like they were beating on me. And when I came back, I was so heavy. So I couldn't believe how heavy we are. This is so heavy to move around. And I kept telling the doctors and the paramedics people, I'm like, this is so heavy. I don't want to be here because it was so beautiful. It was
Yeah.
so beautiful.
So when you were, now this is the interesting part of your experience. You went out of your body, near death experience. If nobody knows what an NDE is, you need to learn, because there are many people that have written about NDE experiences, and they are very real, very real.
Yeah.
So if you've never had one, not that I'm asking people to have an NDE experience,
No.
please listen to the stories, because there are many people around the world that have been through that, and they have been to other realms through the NDE, near death experience. When you said it was really beautiful, what did it look like at that point? So you soared down below what was happening, but you went somewhere else for a bit, and what was that like?
I was floating over everything. So if you could think of like a fisheye lens, the way everything
Yeah,
looks domed,
yeah,
but I wasn't looking at everything. I was everything. That was the
yeah,
craziest part.
yeah.
I wasn't there was no me. It was just everything.
You were everything. You were energy. Were you in a physical form at that time, looking at yourself, or no?
No,
You were just energy.
just energy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just energy, and all the lights had auras, like it was nighttime over the East Haddam Bridge, and they put that like Christmas tree up over next to it on the hill like that. And I floated right over the whole thing. I saw it all. I
Wow.
saw St. Stephen's Church and the little red schoolhouse, and then I could, even though I was everything, I could hone in on what was going on with me, and I could see me down there. I could
Yeah.
see them working on me, and I didn't care because this was like so beautiful. But then what hit me is I saw my father,
Hmm.
and I couldn't leave him.
Yeah.
No, I can't. When I came back, it was like this smack.
Oh my, yeah, that would be the way. I've heard stories where they get you back, and then you just come right back, zooming into the body like you hit a brick in a wall.
Oh,
You're like right
it
there.
was like hitting a cement. Yeah, it was like hitting cement. Yep. And I
I've heard
kept telling
stories.
him, This is so heavy.
Wow. And you have her on the show here. Nicolette's been on for a while with us, and she has so many stories to tell. And that's why she's here, because she is like really someone that you can't just interview for 2 seconds. You have to have a conversation. You have to, it's like sitting at a diner having a cup of coffee, and it goes on endlessly for hours talking about the encounters and the stories. And so, Nicolette, you've been really a great guest tonight,
Thanks,
Been a
man. I
great guest.
appreciate it. It's
And it's
a
like 1 in the morning.
confirmation.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
You know?
It is. We have a lot of beautiful things to look forward to, brothers and sisters. So many things. And there are people that if you are totally awakened, meaning if you have come to a state of consciousness, like Nicolette has, if you've come to that state of consciousness, you have the ability to expand yourself so far out beyond what you've been taught on earth, to be able to have that experience that she has with these beings that are 7 and 8 feet tall, that are beautiful beings. They're men and women. They might look slightly different than us because of the energy frequencies. They are very much like a bright light, so to speak.
But
they
what
have
it is you have to unlearn everything that you thought you perceived this world to be.
Yep.
Everything that you were taught in school. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Even everything that I was taught in nursery school. I went to St. Stephen's. And that was my only church experience, and I got kicked out. I had to go sit on the big couch because I kept telling them I didn't understand the difference between God and Jesus. It never made sense to me. They use them together, but to me, it's always been separate.
Yeah.
And I got in trouble. I had to sit on the big couch for that. So even everything I learned about like religion, just it's like the opposite. And it's the opposite. Not only is it the opposite, but there's so much more.
Yeah. It is crazy, isn't it? There is so much more, and people sometimes don't understand how much more there is, They need to understand what's happening and come forward to look in themselves in the mirror to see the very foundation of light that exists,
Well, even we were taught by like a nursery school that we were looking for this outer praise to, a God or a Jesus. And, he takes my burdens and he rolls them in the sea. And we never learned the inner work to navigate this vessel, this meat suit that we incarnate in, and how to handle our emotions and how to experience the moment. When you're a child, you always want to be an adult. When you're an adult, you want to be a child. We're envious of both of those lives.
Yeah, it's so true. The mixture.
Did anybody ever just tell us to just be in the moment and enjoy?
No, they don't do that.
No.
When we're all growing up as kids in school, they don't say, "Hey, enjoy the moment." What they say is, "Get up, go to school, and do your homework." That's what they used to say. Very true. Hey, well, Nicolette, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It's now about 1:06 a.m. in the morning.
Have a good night.
Yeah, and tomorrow night we'll be on again with another encounter show. And again, this show is recording. It'll be on my YouTube channel and I'll put it on Facebook, but on my YouTube channel. Tomorrow we'll be transferring this onto YouTube. So if you've missed parts of the show with Nicolette, you can watch our show again on YouTube. You'll see Nicolette. And also, any shows we've had on in the past weeks, you will see them on YouTube. So there you go. And we're going to thank Nicolette for being here. If anybody, one more guest, and Nicolette can stick with us here. One more guest, if they wish to come on and share a story related to the ET thing or to UFOs. If you have a story to tell and you have over 200 followers, we'll put you on here on the last minute of the show. So I want to still thank everybody for being here. I want to thank all the people that gave gifts tonight. You've been, phenomenal. And again, if there's no one else that wishes to come on live, we will call this a night, and we'll be on tomorrow night. Everyone, enjoy the weekend wherever you are around the world. Just keep a smile on your face and keep your eyes to the skies, because you never know when that spaceship is going to glow. Take care, everybody. Hey, Nicolette, take care.